Good evening, everyone. In 1975, when I was 6 years old, my father moved my mother and I from Kingston to the country. He had invested all his money in the movie The Harder They Come, and he wanted a safe place for us when he went and toured the world as an independent distributor. I was taken from the glamorous HENZELL Academy and placed in Beverly All-Age School, a 3-mile walk from our home in Cardiff Hall, Runaway Bay, giving me a true dose of rural primary school education. This gave me the appreciation of the challenges, but who knew that 40 years later, I'd be in this position where I'm helping some of them. One of the unique deals that my father made was going to Brazil, where he did a barter deal for 200 footballs. The guy couldn't pay him in cash, and I remember us putting these black and white leather footballs in the back of his blue VW van and driving around Runaway Bay to these clubs and these schools and distributing these footballs. It made a big impact on me. One of those schools was Beverly All-Age. The vast majority of basic and primary schools in rural Jamaica do not have a physical education teacher. So the 45 minutes allotted to each school each week is usually unsupervised and a free period when teachers catch up on their work. It's not unusual to drive past a school during this time and see over 100 kids running after one football or a fight taking place. In 2010, the directors of BREDS, the Treasure Beach Foundation, decided this is where we wanted to play, in this space. We saw the opportunity of creating a game-based learning program. Edusport would provide a non-competitive physical activity, but more importantly, education through sport. Children don't need more time in the classroom to learn how to think and perform in the face of real-world challenges. What they need is effective, interactive experiences that motivate and actively engage them in the learning process. This is where game-based learning comes in, and this is what Edusport is all about. Within a game-based learning environment, children work towards choosing actions and experiencing the consequences of those actions along the way. We make mistakes in a risk-free setting, and through experimentation, we actively learn and practice the right way of doing things. Typically in rural primary schools, someone from the community who likes a particular sport comes along when that particular sport is coming up and takes over coaching that team. You know, a typical Jamaican tough love man, they're shouting at them, and as we know, this is not necessarily the right way to build a team's morale. The curriculum of Edusport was developed by someone who graduated from Leeds University in the UK with a major in physical education and game-based learning. We hired 4 football coaches and trained them in child protection, human rights, conflict resolution, and first aid. We started with only 2 schools until one day a friend of mine from HENZELL Foundation, Samantha Chantrell, kind of whispered and said, Edusport needs to go to UNICEF. UNICEF has a focus of sport for development, and that's where the journey with UNICEF began. UNICEF came on in 2012, and today we're in 11 schools with 1,250 children. And by early next year, we'll be in 17 schools with 4,000 children. UNICEF brought structure and detailed monitoring, very detailed monitoring, to Edusport, and together we have engaged the Ministry of Education about endorsing the program and using a franchise model to expand to the many primary schools across Jamaica which do not have any physical education. An independent survey with students, parents, and teachers recently commissioned by UNICEF revealed that 81% agree that self-esteem and discipline improved with the Edusport. 68% agreed on the improvement in academic skills, including literacy and numeracy. 85% agreed on a better peer relationship and conflict management. 85% also agreed on improved persistence and attitude. And 94% agreed on a better level of fitness and athletic skills. We find that game-based learning brings a fresh, engaging approach to learning, and that these schools can't imagine days before Edusport. We get requests on a weekly basis from schools wanting us to bring Edusport to them, particularly on a Thursday and Friday in rural Jamaica when a lot of children go and help in the farm or on their parents, with their parents instead of attending. Those are the lowest days. The second phase of Edusport is building skills for life. BREDS partnered with UNICEF again and Jamaica Defence Force to create the General COLIN Power Challenge course. This uses rope course methodology to build trust and promote teamwork among participants. With Jamaicans being a low-trust society, we see a high level of apprehension when groups first arrive. The first exercise sees participants forming a circle and keeping 3 nuts simply spinning on a metal ring which is handed off around to each other. Being the individualists that we Jamaicans tend to be, everyone laughs at the first group of people who make a mistake, until our facilitators point out that this is a team effort and that we should be encouraging each other. Over the next 8 hours, we witness incredible transformation of these same persons providing the most caring and supportive words to get their team through the obstacles of the low rope climbing wall, the whale watch, the wild woozy, before going to the leap of faith and setting off up this 45-foot climbing wall and zipping over 400 feet of water. Since opening the challenge course in November, our facilitators have done meaningful work with over 900 persons. Most are teachers, students, some corporate Jamaica, but mainly from the inner cities, mainly from Antigua Bay, from Flankers, from Spanish Town and Kingston. We recently worked with our first set of youth from the Citizen Security and Justice Program. This is one that I've been pursuing from day one. It wasn't easy, but we got them. And one of our dreams is to see all 3,000 at-risk youth in that program go through the General COLIN Power Challenge course. We're working with Fight for Peace, Outward Bound and Seeds of Peace to expand this program. We want to go into environmental leadership, sports leadership, and drama. Our aim is to create the most respected youth leadership program in the Caribbean by 2016.
10 of these. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
I welcome the program Edusport into the school, and so far, I mean, I'm quite pleased with the support of the staff as well, but more so the kids in terms of the interest. And just slightly looking at the statistics, it would seem as if, though, or it would suggest that even on a Tuesday versus a Monday, you have a slightly better attendance on a Tuesday. It might have had slight effects as well in terms of discipline, to be honest, because the kids are more interested in having something to do that is somewhat structured, just like the education program itself in terms of the curriculum. They have something to do and they find it a lot of fun. Sometimes I see the teachers out there with their books, they'll be standing out there looking on, having their books, marking their books at the same time. So it does give them at least a half an hour, sometimes to an hour, to really probably do a little bit of extra stuff that they would normally do. Edusports, education through sports, it's a means of getting them to learn or to open them up to the whole idea of learning, and also to look at the whole idea of learning being fun.
Sharks are coming. In this exercise, we would have the kids run around as if swimming.
Sharks are coming! 4.
So therefore they are physically moving around at the same time, have to be working out numbers, working out groups and so forth.
Currently we have 5 coaches in the Edusport program. We have 2 head coaches and 3 lower level coaches who support the head coaches. At the start of Edusport, the reaction and feedback from the schools that we've got has been unreal. They say that the children are more responsive to the teachers, and peer-to-peer relationships have grown in a way that they never thought they would.
Thank you, Edusport! Thank you, Edusport! Thank you, Edusport!
All right, give yourselves a big round of applause here.
Go win!
So I met Sanita Abrams 2 years ago. She introduced me to Rick Orstrom, who wanted to do a ropes course. So I called him up, then we went to the Jamaica Defence Force and approached him about doing a ropes course at a community level. They got very excited, and then from there I went to UNICEF, and UNICEF immediately went for it.
The idea behind the course is to create an experience for young people, and especially young people who are having behavioral challenges. We're also mindful though that young people who are doing well, who we refer to as at promise, they also can benefit from an experience where they're challenged.
So the young people that are with us today are really members of the youth clubs in our communities. They're part of the Rice family, and they serve as role models, as youth trainers and leaders in their communities.
The basic idea there is that you start with the low things, the low components that allow for confidence to be built and for trust building and so on. And then we move to the high elements, where then a lot of it is now overcoming some of the more significant challenges that the adolescent might have.
I thought the wall was hard and challenging. No. That's like killer. It's hard, but I did it. I feel like anything against someone right now, I kill it.
People come and they look at that wall and they just think, oh my God, how am I going to get up there, you know? And then they start working with our facilitators and they start making jokes and, you know, getting a relationship, and all of a sudden they're like 40 feet up in the air. And, you know, their sense of achievement, they start crying, they start laughing.
So what we have learned today at the challenge course is that we must go for our dreams, don't care what the obstacles are.
I learn how to work with team, I learn how to be a leader, overcome fears, to trust one another, have people trust in me also.
I always hear my grandmother say no man is an island, and today it really proves. It goes to show that no matter what you do in life, your education, your status, if you don't have somebody there to push you, you will never go forward. So I thank my team. I love you. Thank you.
A big shout out to BREDS team. Oh, you guys earned my 100% of my trust. Today I came here with 50 and I earned 50, and I just want to give it out.